back to my channel. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos, my name is Anna and I'm so glad that you're here. Today is a little bit of a different video. I am hosting Mother's Day brunch. I kind of filmed the getting ready process and how I got everything together with all my different recipes. So I just want to take you guys along with the weekend of how I got things prepped, what I made, and the final product of what we did for brunch. So come along with me as we get ready for Mother's Day brunch. All right, I made it back from home from the grocery store. We actually ran a few other errands as well, but I'm home now to meal prep everything for the Mother's Day brunch. So I'm gonna go over what I'm planning on making for the brunch and then meal prep some of it today and take you guys along with it. I wrote out my menu that I am making. I wanted to do some savory and sweet options. So this is what I came up with. I'm gonna do 2 different flavors of quiche. I'm gonna do a spinach and mushroom and then a bacon and cheese, probably like a bacon and cheddar. I got this little French bread. I'm gonna do little mini avocado toast as well as French toast with this. So that is perfect to fit with the tea party vibe. I'm gonna do cucumber sandwiches as well as my homemade chicken salad sandwich. I'm gonna do watermelon, pineapple, blackberries, and strawberries. I'm gonna cut the pineapple and watermelon into cute little shapes, maybe like hearts or flowers, depending on what kind of cookie cutters I have. We're gonna do that. And then I'm gonna make a blueberry bread. My brother saw blueberry sourdough that he wanted to try. I'm not making sourdough, but I am gonna make a blueberry bread for him. And then I am gonna make some little like petit-four cakes. I don't really know how I'm gonna do that, but I'm probably gonna start on that first. And then I'm making homemade lemonade. So this is the first thing I started earlier this morning. I just did 2 lemons with a 1/2 cup of sugar, and I'm gonna let this sit probably for like 24 hours. And then tomorrow I'll make the rest of the lemonade. And then I am going to do a strawberry version of this as well. So we're gonna do that together here in a second. But that is my menu plan. And then, so today is the day before Mother's Day. So I am going to try to get as much done today. And then that way tomorrow I can just do like the fresh things, like the French toast and avocado toast will be done tomorrow. Cucumber sandwiches will be done tomorrow probably. But everything else I can go ahead and do today. So let's go ahead and get started on everything. I think I'm gonna do the cake first and the quiche because those have to bake. And then everything else I can do while those are baking. Actually, before we do that, let me show you the decorations I made last night. This bouquet here is gonna be for my mom. So that's hers to keep. But I made these little centerpieces to go on the table. These are just so darling. They're just my china that I got from my great grandmother, and I just added cute little flowers to them. So that's kind of my goal for today. I'm gonna meal prep and do all of the prepping and then decorating a little bit later on today. And then tomorrow we can just finish everything else. But yeah, come with me as we get all of the stuff done. First things first, I am going to make the cake mix. I'm just using a regular box cake mix, and then I'm gonna show you some enhancements to make the box cake mix taste 10 times better. The regular cake mix calls for water, vegetable oil, as well as 3 eggs. Still gonna use vegetable oil. You can use butter instead. I forgot to pick up butter at the store, so I am just gonna go with vegetable oil. Not my first choice by any means. You're gonna go in with milk instead of water, still a full cup. Perfect. Instead of eggs, you're gonna do Greek yogurt. It's gonna add a little bit more creaminess to it. I'm just using regular vanilla Greek yogurt, but you can use literally any kind. I do about 3 spoonfuls, about this big. Whisk your cake together. Don't use a spatula, use a whisk. Batter is done. Let's go ahead and line the baking dish. Just going ahead and grease this pan with some butter and then sprinkle some flour on it. Go ahead and add your batter. Evenly spread. I'm gonna put this in my oven at 350. Next, I'm gonna work on the quiche. I'm gonna show you guys how to make the crust for the quiche. Super simple, really easy. So I'm gonna start with my food processor. I'm going to add a 1.5 cups of flour. I'm gonna add some pads of butter to this. I eyeball it. You can measure if you want. I'm gonna say about 4 tablespoons of butter went in here with my 1.5 cups of flour. I'm just gonna pulse this with my food processor until everything becomes a little bit coarse. It's gonna look almost like sand, which is the perfect consistency. Now we're gonna add a few tablespoons of cold water. I'm gonna do 3 tablespoons and mix this up and see how it's coming along. All right, perfect. Once it starts forming a dough, you're gonna turn it on the floured surface. So I'm gonna do them in 2 different containers for 2 different flavors of quiche. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure these out and then put the crust in. Honestly, easiest way, just place your dish there, cut it. Totally optional, but I am going to put a strip of parchment paper to help me lift the crust out once it's done baking. I'm just gonna slit some holes in the bottom, and in the oven these go. While the crust is baking, we'll go ahead and make the filling for the quiche. It's really simple. I'm just gonna crack 6 eggs into this bowl. This one does not want to crack. There we go. All right, last one. Perfect. 6 eggs. And then mine's gonna be a little bit more than a cup of milk. Go ahead and add that in there. And then go ahead and give this a good whisk. Now that this is beaten, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the fillings, cutting all that stuff up. So let's go ahead and get that started. So for the bacon and cheese one, I'm actually gonna caramelize an onion in the bacon grease to kind of add a little bit more flavor. Go ahead and get that chopped up. Onion goes in with the bacon grease. I'm gonna go ahead and get these all cooked down. So the crust had been baking in the oven for about 10 minutes. I pulled them out and I went ahead and I cooked down the spinach and mushrooms and added kale to this one to get as much moisture out as possible. Added that to the bottom of the pan, topped it with some goat cheese brie. And then with this one, I layered it with caramelized onions on the bottom with the chopped bacon and then mozzarella on top. And then we're gonna just go in and add our quiche egg mixture. Try to do it as evenly as possible. So we're gonna top both of them with some fresh cracked pepper. And these are gonna go in the oven until they are set. Honestly, probably will check them in about 20 minutes. Moving on to fruit, we're cutting out little shapes in our fruit. So I'm gonna do the watermelon in these cute little flowers. Hopefully this goes well. Okay, not perfect, but that's cute. And all the extras, I'm just gonna put in a container and we'll eat that throughout the week. Just going to arrange my little flower watermelon on my fruit plate. I realize a lot of people don't know how to cut a pineapple, so this is how you do it. Just gonna cut the top and the bottom off. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cut this in half. And then cut it in 4ths. So you're left with these 4 wedges. You're gonna take the core out just by taking a knife and just running it right under that core. That is gone. And then you're going to just slice downward. You're gonna go through and make your little chunks. All right, so now I have all of the cuts in my pineapple. You're just gonna take your serrated knife and you're gonna cut right at the flesh area. And then your pieces literally slide right out. And you're not leaving anything there. Show you guys on this side. Literally they fall right out. There you go, that's clean. I typically like to take this and just squeeze any of the juice. And there you go. Completely clean, not wasting any fruit and juice. I went ahead and washed and cut in half strawberries. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these on as well. Also have some blackberries that have already been washed and dried as well. So go ahead and add these to the side. Put this in the fridge until I'm ready to serve tomorrow morning. All right, so for the cake, it baked and then I cut out with a little cookie cutter these cute little circles. And then now we're going to frost them. Super easy tip to frost these. I went ahead and lined my counter with just some saran wrap, and I'm going to use a microwave safe container and just put in regular store-bought icing, melt it down, and we're gonna pour it over there and let it harden. Pop this in the microwave for just about 15 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a stir. Make sure it's liquid enough as what I want it to be. I'm actually gonna pop it back in for just a few more seconds. All right, 10 more seconds. And that is exactly what you want. And then you are just going to pour on the icing all over the cake and just let it drip down. All right, so you're gonna go in and do it with another coat. As of right now, they don't look too pretty, but locking in all that moisture, I'm gonna let them sit and then we will ice the top of them and decorate.